The laughter echoed like knives across the table. Forks clinked, glasses chimed, but all I heard was my sister's voice, acid, smug, meant to draw blood. "How does it feel being the most useless one here?" she asked, loud enough for the whole family to hear. They laughed, every single one of them. My parents, my cousins, even my brother who once begged me for rent money. Everyone laughed, except me. I just smiled, slow, controlled, and then I leaned back in my chair and said, "How does it feel knowing this useless one won't be paying your bills anymore?" The silence that followed was sweeter than any applause. It hadn't always been this way. Once I thought family meant loyalty. I thought we lifted each other up. When I got my first real job, I paid off my parents' mortgage. When my sister maxed out her credit cards, I bailed her out. When my brother nearly lost his apartment, I wired him 3 months' rent without hesitation. I worked long nights, sacrificed vacations, skipped luxuries. I believed it was worth it, for them. But the more I gave, the less they respected me. Generosity became expectation. Sacrifice became duty. And somewhere along the line, I stopped being a person to them. I became a wallet, a safety net, a fool. The signs were always there. The whispered jokes when they thought I couldn't hear. The backhanded compliments. Not the smartest, but dependable. The way my sister, especially, looked at me, like I was beneath her. But that dinner, that was the final nail. Her sneer wasn't just cruelty, it was truth spoken aloud. That's how they all saw me, useless, except for my money. And in that moment, I made a choice. I wouldn't argue, I wouldn't explain. I would let them choke on the consequences of underestimating me. Planning revenge doesn't always mean destruction. Sometimes it means subtraction. All I had to do was remove myself. First, the finances. Every auto payment I'd been covering, canceled. Utilities, loans, tuition, all of it. Second, the accounts. I closed the family emergency fund they always drained, transferred the balance to my own savings. Third, the strings. I'd co-signed my sister's car lease. Quietly, I notified the lender I would no longer be responsible. Let her handle the full weight of her lifestyle. I didn't announce any of it. I didn't warn them. I just waited. The fallout began within weeks. My brother called, panicked. His rent overdue, utilities shut off. My mother asked why the mortgage hadn't been paid. My sister screamed when her car was repossessed from the driveway. I listened. I nodded. And I said the same thing each time. "I'm sure you'll figure it out." At first, they thought I was bluffing. Then they realized. The ATM they mocked had shut down. The climax came 2 months later. Another dinner, smaller this time, fewer faces around the table, because shame had a way of keeping people away. They looked different, humbled, desperate. My sister's eyes darted, hollow with stress. My father looked older, his voice quieter. My mother's hands shook as she poured water. Finally, my sister broke. "Why are you doing this? We're family." I leaned forward, meeting her stare. Calm, steady. Family doesn't laugh while tearing you down. Family doesn't use you until you bleed. You wanted to see me as useless. Fine. Now you'll see how useless you are without me. The words landed heavier than the silence that followed. No shouting, no plates thrown, just the crushing weight of truth. Do I regret it? No. I gave them years of loyalty, sacrificed dreams they'll never know. And for what? A punchline at a dinner table. Now they finally understand. They thought money made me their servant. They thought my silence meant weakness. But silence can be a blade. And I learned how to cut deep without ever raising my voice. They call me cold now, vindictive. But I call it balance. Because the moment my sister sneered, the moment everyone laughed, they signed the contract for their own downfall. All I did was hold them to it. The best revenge isn't giving them pain. It's giving them freedom. The freedom to live exactly as they believe they could, without me. And as I walked away from that dinner, hearing nothing but the sound of my own footsteps, I felt lighter than I had in years. They wanted me useless, so I finally gave them what they wanted, and it destroyed them.